Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. This is our, I think, final senior chapel as we're getting to the end of the term. And so this chapel, we are thinking about this season of change. My name is Grace Pennings Guenthner, use she, her pronouns, and I'm finishing up my Master of Arts in Eco-Justice.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lux Knudsen Cowles, and I have received an MA in Eco-Justice at United.
And then Allison Rykken was also helped shape this service. And Allison wasn't able to be with us today, but this is a quote. We're going to start with a grounding practice and then a quote that Allison found for us. So I invite us all to take a deep breath together. Inhale life-giving oxygen. Exhale life-giving CO2. Again, inhale life. Exhale life. Inhale, exhale. The air you just breathed was once inside a forest, or a whale, or someone laughing in 1924. Nothing here is separate. It just keeps changing hands. Jasmine Wilder from the Tiny Joy Project.
For our land acknowledgement, I'm going to integrate two different practices that I've learned. One is I learned from a reclaiming witch named Ernest, and another I learned from Sarah Augustine, who's one of the founders of the Coalition to Dismantle the Doctrine of Discovery. So I'll ask everyone to find a place on your body where you can touch a bone through the soft tissues, where you can feel that density of material in your own body. And we're feeling in this bone to connect with the truth that the land is our body and our bodies are the land. We are a part of the land where we are, and we are all the time in our bodies, on and within, and connected to the land. So for all of us, I will say, in the words of Sarah Augustine, we give thanks for this land, our body. We give thanks for this land, our body. We give thanks for this land, our body. And where we are right now at United's campus, we're about a half mile to the west of the great river Mississippi that's running all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. And where we are is right next to where the river Mississippi connects with the Minnesota River. We're in Bedote, the sacred ancestral homelands of the Dakota people, the origin of Dakota cosmology, and ancestral and ongoing homelands of the Dakota, the Ojibwe, the Anishinaabe, and the Ojibwe people, and people named and unnamed, known and unknown, if only unknown to me. We hail that ongoing history and seek in our bodies to be a part of the ongoing journey towards justice and just relations amongst peoples and place here. Blessings.
Amen. So this first reading comes from Octavia Butler. All that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. Spring is a season of change. It is full of beginnings as life emerges from the sleeping soil, as birds return to their summer homes, and the trees fill with buds and blossoms. In this season, we look forward to what is to come. For those of us graduating, it is indeed a season that invites us into celebration. But it is also an ending, one that requires us to pause. This season is a time of reflection, looking back on what has been. I think about the frustrations and joys I have experienced at United, tough questions, engaging conversations, and the incredible humans that have shaped who I am becoming. We are here at the beginning and the end. In this liminal space, I think about how beginnings are endings and endings are beginnings, and time is a flat circle, or a spiral, or perhaps something else. Time is nonlinear, growth is nonlinear. When I start feeling overwhelmed by the immensity of change in this season and all the seasons of my life, I find my grounding in soil, rocks, and the Earth's story. Our Earth home is 4,600 million years old. 4,600 million years old. It's hard to comprehend deep time, cosmic time. The National Park Service provides this example to help us grapple with this by overlaying the age of the Earth onto a calendar year. The Earth formed 4,600 million years ago on January 1st. This means that each of the 12 months of the calendar year represents 383 million years. Each day then represents approximately 12.6 million years. Each day has 24 hours, meaning that each hour represents 525,114 years. Each hour contains 60 minutes, so 1 minute represents 8,752 years. And a single second represents 146 years. When I reflect on the past year and all that has happened in that span of time, let alone all that happens in a month, a week, or even a single day, the enormity of deep time begins to settle into my understanding. It's more tangible, slightly easier to hold. At the same time, though, it remains impossible to wrestle with the fact that Homo sapiens appear in the final 22 minutes of the year. And if 11:59 p.m. on December 31st marks the beginning of the epoch in which humans live, then my delicate life begins just 200 milliseconds, the mere blink of an eye before the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve. How can one begin to grapple with such significance and insignificance all at once? It's a lot to wrestle with. To balance myself in the face of this cosmic time, I ground myself then in the solid rocks underfoot. The holy trinity of rock types: igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary. But once again, I must face the reality that nothing stays the same. Igneous rocks form when magma cools. When igneous rocks weather and erode, they turn to sediment, and with deposition, they become sedimentary rocks. When sedimentary rocks experience great pressure and temperature, they turn into metamorphic rocks. Or maybe they melt and return to magma form. Maybe that magma cools again to form igneous rocks, which turn into metamorphic rocks under intense pressure and temperature. And then that metamorphic rock weathers and erodes into sediment, which becomes sedimentary rocks. Or maybe it melts again into magma. The rock cycle demonstrates how, once created, absolutely nothing stays the same. Once again, my head is spinning. Deep time, spirals of time, cycles of transformation. Perhaps if we zoom in just a bit more to focus on the soil, we will achieve stability in this shifting world. But wait, the soil too is in constant motion. Soil forms from above and below. Above, when organic matter from decaying leaves, plant litter, and fallen trees, and the decomposing remains of animals turns to humus. This is where the stories of the dead and dying are rewritten into new life. Humus is a small part of the overall makeup of soil, yet it sustains nearly 90% of life on Earth. And then there is soil formation and transformation from below, when ancient bedrock, solid rocks that are perhaps millions of years old, weather into smaller particles, rising to the surface with time. These geologic histories of soil and land formation are stories of transformation. We often think of time as linear and land as static. But the truth is that there is a continuous, never-ending cycle of formation and transformation taking place within us and around us. In this season of change, in this world in constant motion, I am left to grapple with the significance and insignificance all at once. Beginnings are endings, endings are beginnings, our endings are beginnings. And here we are in the midst of it all. All that we touch, we change. All that we change changes us. The only lasting truth is change.
Together, Grace and I are going to read an excerpt from Little Gidding by T.S. Eliot. What we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from, and every phrase and sentence that is right, where every word is at home, taking its place to support the others, the word neither diffident nor ostentatious, an easy commerce of the old and the new, the common word exact without vulgarity, the formal word precise but not pedantic, the complete consort dancing together. Every phrase and every sentence is an end and a beginning. Every poem and epitaph, and any action is a step to the block, to the fire down the sea's throat, or to an illegible stone. And that is where we start. We die with the dying. See, they depart, and we go with them. We are born with the dead. The moment of the rose and the moment of the yew tree are of equal duration. A people without history is not redeemed from time, for history is a pattern of timeless moments. So, while the light fails on a winter's afternoon in a secluded chapel, history is now, and in T.S. Eliot's context, England. With the drawing of this love and the voice of this calling,
We shall not cease from exploration. And the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time.
So I'll invite each of us again to find that place where you can feel a bone in your body, and it could be a new place now. As we return to our bodies on the other side of our chapel today, I'll remind us that as we are in the season of change in the spring, everything that's happening outside of our bodies is also happening inside of our bodies, whether or not we're conscious of it. So when there's emerging sprouts, there's new energy, there's new sunlight. Those are things that we're feeling and are impacting our bodies. But that the spring also brings with it the freeze-thaw cycle. It brings with it the turning of the soil, and with that too, there's a certain um, violence. There's rupture, there's change that can feel uncomfortable, that can bring up grief, and that discomfort and that rupture are happening right next to the sprouting and the emerging possibilities. And all of that exists in the land around us and here today with us inside of our bodies.
I invite you again to take a deep breath with me. As Jasmine Wilder reminds us, the air you just breathed was once inside a forest, or a whale, or someone laughing in 1924. Nothing here is separate. It just keeps changing hands.
Blessings to each and every one of you in this spring season.
Go in peace.
Thank you very much.